Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she can't get a new hairstyle to impress some boy? I, 34 female, have a daughter, 13 female, who wants to cut her waist-length blonde hair. Cut it to less than an inch. All this to impress her crush, 14 male. I said no and she called me an overbearing mom. My husband, 35 male, says he understands why I did it but my tactics were bad. He said that maybe our daughter wouldn't tell us when has dramatic plans. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I was a stylist for 40 years. This is a drastic change for anyone, especially someone so young. She has no idea how linked she is to that hair. I've seen girls who thought they wanted a big chop sob hysterically once they saw their haircut. Please allow her some autonomy though. I used to tell clients who didn't have to listen to what a parent had to say to do it in stages. Let's cut to above the shoulder and you live with that for a week or two, and if you still want that pixie we will do it. I'm saying not the asshole because I've seen too many young girls regret their decision. But you also need to let her grow up. Choose your battles because they will be tough going forward, and yo will wish you were dealing with something as easy as a haircut. You are the asshole. This was a moment to have a conversation with your daughter about making choices to make others happy and whether she really wants short hair, or if it is just because the boy said he liked it. Also, about how she would feel if she does it and he still isn't interested. Instead, you shut her down with no discussion and a dismissal. Your husband is correct. As a last note, it's hair. If she changes her mind she can always grow it back. Let her make decisions about her own body. Soft, you are the asshole. The reason is dumb, I agree. However, it is her hair. She is old enough to deal with the regret she may have with making this decision. A gentle, you are the asshole. She's 13 and old enough to decide what her hair looks like. But she's also 13 and making rash decisions that you as a former 13-yo can see the repercussions of, and you naturally want to protect her from that. I would set an appointment with a salon for 2-ish weeks out and spend that time with your daughter looking at potential hairstyles she might like. Then you can go to the appointment confident that this is a choice she is making. Or, she changes her mind on the haircut. Either way, you both win. You are the asshole, it's her hair. I always find it really disturbing when a parent is overly attached to their child's long, difficult to care for hair. The whole, to impress a boy, thing is a red herring. She's 13. She has the right to exert a reasonably amount of control over her appearance. Having waist-length hair is an absolute pain in the ass. Why are you so concerned with the length of her hair? Why are you so aggressively making her maintain a hyper-feminine presentation? Experimenting with your appearance is a normal part of growing up. Let her cut off her damn hair. No assholes here for the reason she wants it. But at 13 she should be able to get it cut without parental approval. Time to learn consequences of actions if she hates it when it can't hurt her future. Pick your battles because if she doesn't get some agency over herself she's going to go wild. Am I the asshole for declining to help taking care of my sister's mother-in-law? Some background. My father passed away this year. My mom, my sis, my brother-in-law, my girlfriend and I have been taking care of my dad for the past 5-6 years. My mom is primary caregiver and my girlfriend and I've been a supporting character in person. My sister lives in another country, so she has been more of a remote supportive role and she really tries help in every way she can. I feel no resentment toward my sis for this or anyone through this hard time. We all worked as a team and contributed in helping my dad through his disease. Currently, my sister's mother-in-law is old, 90, she gone through a lot such as cancer and recently a very bad fall. The mother-in-law has 5 children and they want her to go to an old home except for my brother-in-law and my sister. So my sister and her husband have decided to not bring her to an old home and take care of mother-in-law full-time. The issue is, they live in another country and the mother-in-law is required, by law, to be back home for 5 months of the year and the remaining month living with my sis abroad. Of the 5 months that the mother-in-law is back in her home, my sister and brother-in-law come back with her for their summer vacation with the kids. But the last 3 months, they ask me if I could take care of her because they have no option left since the mother-in-law 4 other children can't take care of her, time-wise. The option of having 24/7 stay-in care for those 3 months is not possible as it is much too expensive, $15K a month here due to current health issue. Now the family part of me feel like I need to help but I know I don't want to and feel angry that she even asked me because 1. Why should my mom, my GF, and I sacrifice our life when the mother-in-law own 4 children won't take care of her because they rather have her in an old home? 2. I feel my sister is taking ad vitam of the family kindness. We say family will always be there to help each other but in this situation, isn't it being abused? 3. This will create a resentment toward all member of the mother-in-law side of the family. 4. This will cause an issue for my relationship with my GF. My girlfriend and I are taking care of my mom, 65, and it's really not fair for her if she starts taking care of her future sister-in-law's mother-in-law. 5. It was a tough 5 year for the family. The loss of my father is still fresh. I don't want to be a caregiver again until it's time for my own mom or my parent-in-law, even if it's only for 3 months of the year. 6. I don't feel like my sister's mother-in-law is family to me. 7. It's my sister and brother-in-law decision to take on the care full-time. Again, why should we, mom, girlfriend and I, be part of this? I know they are just asking for help, but I feel like they shouldn't even be asking us in the first place. At this stage of my life, I want things to be as simple as it can be. Focus on my GF, my mom and my personal time. Am I selfish about this? Not the asshole. The thing is, your sister and brother-in-law aren't going to be able to handle her care without support, and frankly they don't have it. Their time would be better spent finding a good home that can take care of her properly, provides a nice environment, and is easy for them to visit. I can totally understand the guilt of feeling like you're sending a family member away, but they need to do what's best for her, not what assuages their guilt. Not the asshole. It is not your or especially your GF's responsibility to care for your sister's mill. It's a shame that the MIL's kids aren't willing to support her, but that is in no way a fault of your own. The best call may be to find a nice place to send the mother-in-law to get the care she needs as well as make friends. Not the asshole. I'd start with the common sense aspect first. Explain it as if she wasn't making a selfish request and genuinely hasn't processed how big her ask is. Say, sis, our family just lost dad and we're already taking care of mom. We can't financially, emotionally or physically take care of another person. I'm down to help give advice and talk through other solutions if you want. As taking care of her isn't one of them. If she starts pulling the selfish card, I'd be a lot less charitable and be a lot more blunt. Not the asshole. 3 months is a lot to ask if you for someone you barely know. You are not being selfish. Tell your sister you don't feel comfortable doing this, and if she gets upset, so be it. I would strongly encourage you to stick with your decision here. End-of-life care is hard. You know it because you've gone through it and you have my condolences. Each person has to find their own limits. Of course it is lovely if family can support a relative in need, but it's not a requirement for a clear conscience. In fact, some people's lived experience is better in a specialist environment than in a relative's home. You are not the asshole for saying you can't take responsibility for your sister's mill with challenging needs. Neither are her children, who also have lives to live. Your sister and Bill need to face up to the logistical realities. Sis is selfish. She didn't make same sacrifices your dad you did, and her mill is not family. Agree she has 4 otter kids and it's not on you to fill the void. Focus on you and your girlfriend and your future. Would I be the asshole if I refused to let my in-laws see my newborn by not my parents? I'm not due till December, but this question has been bothering me. I 27 female and my husband 26 male are expecting our first baby. Both our parents have expressed wanting to be at the hospital when baby is born. My husband and I are moving into my parents' house this September for financial reasons. We're staying until he finishes school, 1-2 years. My original plan was for no one to see the baby for 1 month to prevent illness, but now that we're moving in with my parents, I think it's kind of pointless to exclude them, and having their help will be great. I am thinking about asking my mom to not get close to baby's face but still help. However, for my in-laws keep the 1 month rule. Maybe that's just unfair though, and I should not accept help from my parents for 1 month and have them follow the rule as well. Because we're living together, I'm not sure. My mother-in-law has asked about hospital plans and I'm not sure what to say yet, and don't want to upset them. They already dislike me due to a language barrier and my overall personality very skittish, aloof due to past trauma. Any advice is appreciated. Edit. Thanks for all the advice. I agree, I'm probably watching too much TikTok. While the one Valiant would be nice, it's not all that reasonable while not having my own place anyway. I'm going to ask everyone to wash their hands and take precautions while still seeing the baby. Thanks Reddit. I'm unclear what the 1 month rule is. We didn't parade our kids all over town, but grandparents were totally fine following basic handwashing and don't see the baby if you're sick rules. Is this a thing? I think you would be well served to get treatment for your anxiety before you give birth. I think you should allow both sets of parents to see the baby, provided they follow safety precautions and give you basic respect. If they fail to respect you, your rules, safety precautions, at THST point is when I would restrict access. Otherwise, keeping the rule in place for them but not your own parents will probably only serve to worsen the relationship between you and your in-laws. If you're ready for them to absolutely hate you, then do whatever you want. I think it would be fair to allow both set of parents to see the child. The help is useful. Have them follow safety precautions and everything should be fine. You are the asshole if you allow your parents to see the baby but have your husband's parents wait 1 month. Am I the asshole for not swapping shifts last minute to attend a meal with my fiance's mom? I, 28F, am a nurse, so my work schedule is all over the joint. I am working overtime at the moment because we are trying to save for things like a house down payment, lol, wedding, and also life in general cause have to see the price of cheese? Anyway, my fiance has a mom, as people usually do, and we see her once every 2-3 months or whenever there is a family occasion, which I will usually put in time off for in advance so I have no worries in going. But she sometimes asks us out to breakfast last minute, like a day or two before, which is fine cause people who don't do shift work are usually free on weekends. I am not. When I first got with my fiance, and she would ask us, I would find a colleague to swap shifts with or find someone to cover and owe them a cover. I did that mostly because I wanted to get in good with the family, but it has been 3 years now, and while I still try and make good impressions, I also want to live my life, do my thing. Not try so hard. I have missed 2 lunches in the past year because I was working January and last weekend. I didn't look for cover for a few reasons. 1. We are short-staffed at the moment, or always, so it is kind of a pipe dream. 2. I want to save my favors for an emergency or something along those lines. 3. She is also a nurse, but she works business hours, and she is a very work comes first kind of lady. Like one time my fiancé chucked a sickie to spend the day with me when I was homesick, and she found out and got mad at him for it, so I thought she would understand when I couldn't go because I am scheduled on because that's what she would do in that situation. 4. It's a stressful and annoying thing to do. Anyway, they had lunch last weekend when I was working, and my fiancé told me that his mom was upset that I didn't go and kept making comments about, "Are you sure your fiancé actually exists? I haven't seen her in a while," type of things. Only 2 or 3 comments but enough to have upset him. My fiancé has asked me to try and do whatever I can to go to the next meal she asks us to last minute, even if it means to call in sick. Which I refuse to do because 1, that's stupid thing to do after asking for cover cause then it's obvious it's a life. 2, I know what it is like to work short and I am not going to do that unless I really need to. And 3, what if someone sees us when we are out? I just don't want to have to deal with the hassle of switching shifts for a last minute invite. He can still go, but if I am working I just want to go to work and not feel guilty. So am I the asshole if I don't try and switch shifts when I am working when my future mother-in-law asks us out last minute for a meal? Too long did not read. I didn't try and change my shift last minute when my future mother-in-law asked my fiancé and I out for a meal. Now my mother-in-law is upset and my fiancé wants me to do whatever I can to try and swap shifts when she asks, and I don't want to do that anymore. Not the asshole, but you have a fiancé problem. He should have shut his mother down instead of agreeing that you need to take off. The compromise? Schedule enough in advance where you don't have to beg people to swap. He needs to stand up to mommy, or this will be your entire future. Not the asshole. Why can't the fiancé's mom make solid plans in advance? It's rude to expect someone to drop everything and take sick time because they can't be bothered to plan things out. The mom is the rude one, the world does not revolve around her. Not the asshole. I suggest inviting her to the next meal, well ahead of time, so you can plan it in. Instead of waiting for her to invite you last minute. Not the asshole. Please do not ignore the red flags your fiancé is showing you. He's wanting you to put his mother above your livelihood. This should be a much deeper conversation, especially if you're planning on marrying this man. It sounds as if you work in a hospital. They usually have cafeterias on site. Invite them to lunch there, and you would be able to make it. His mom sounds like she is a pick-me person. Not the asshole. If your mother-in-law truly wanted to see you, she'd respect your job, not treat it like a flaky ex who stands her up for brunch.